Okay, so imagine this. You're walking through this like brand new mall, all the latest brands, but you're not in Mumbai,
Right.
not Delhi either.
Okay.
You're in a city you might not even have heard of, like a few years ago.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reality we're diving into today.
Mm.
This surprising retail boom that's happening in India's tier 2 and third cities. And we have a report from JLL India, and it predicts a huge surge in new retail space.
Yeah.
And trust me, the numbers are pretty mind-blowing.
You know what's really fascinating here is the scale of this growth.
Yeah.
We're talking over 25 million square feet of new retail space by 2029.
Wow.
To put that in perspective, that's like building over 400 football fields
Okay.
worth of shopping malls.
That is a seriously impressive amount of retail space.
Yeah.
But where exactly is all of this happening?
Well, the report highlights a real geographic spread.
Okay.
North India is leading the charge,
Wow.
accounting for a whopping 44% of this new development.
Oh,
Cities like Ludhiana, known for its textiles and like entrepreneurial spirit, are quickly becoming retail hotspots.
So not just the usual suspects then?
Definitely not.
Okay.
South India is hot on their heels, though,
Okay.
with 30% of the development,
Okay.
featuring cities like Coimbatore
Mm.
and Thrissur.
Okay.
Then we have the east, where Guwahati is set to see a significant chunk of new retail space, about 4.5 million square feet.
Wow.
And in the west, developers are focusing on high-quality projects in cities like Goa Surat and Ahmedabad.
It sounds like this boom is touching every corner of the country.
Yeah.
But what's fueling this sudden surge in retail development? Why are these cities becoming such attractive destinations for developers?
It's a combination of factors, really. One major driver is the rising consumer demand in these smaller cities.
Right.
They're experiencing economic growth. People have more disposable income than ever before.
Yeah.
Combine that with the availability of land.
Uh-huh.
These cities have more space for large-scale developments compared to, like, the packed metros.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
More land, lower costs,
Right.
and a population ready to spend.
Right.
But is it just about people having more money to spend, or is there something else at play?
There's definitely another layer to it.
Oh,
For years, these cities lacked the kind of quality retail options you'd find in larger metros.
Right.
This created a huge amount of pent-up demand, a desire for more choice and variety that's now being unleashed.
Okay.
It's like a coiled spring suddenly released.
So it's not just that people can spend, they're actively looking for places to spend it.
Exactly.
Okay. This makes it even more exciting for developers and retailers looking to tap into this new market.
Absolutely. And it's not just the smaller players who are noticing this shift.
Yeah.
The report highlights some of the biggest names in real estate snapping up land in these cities.
Wow.
We're talking about established developers with proven track records acquiring land in places like Jaipur, Lucknow, Mohali, Ahmedabad, Surat, and Coimbatore. This shows a serious commitment to these markets.
This all points to a pretty major change in the retail landscape.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about standalone malls, are we?
You're catching on.
Okay.
Many of these projects are mixed-use developments,
Okay.
combining retail with offices, hotels, and even residential components.
Right.
It's about creating these vibrant destinations that cater to a variety of needs, not just shopping.
So it's like these cities are getting a serious upgrade when it comes to their shopping and entertainment options.
Absolutely.
But what about the retailers themselves? Are they on board with this retail revolution?
They're not just on board, they're leading the charge.
Wow.
We're seeing a real shift in strategy as premium brands, even those in the bridge to luxury segment, move into these cities.
Okay.
To clarify, bridge to luxury refers to brands that sit between mainstream and high-end luxury, offering a more accessible taste of luxury.
Got it.
And they're drawn to these cities by the rising aspirations of consumers and the opportunity to tap into a whole new market.
So it's not just about offering bargains. It's about offering a more sophisticated shopping experience that reflects the changing tastes of these consumers.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. Some retailers are choosing these tier 2 and 3 cities for their very first stores in India.
Really?
Take, for instance, Daiso, Japan,
Okay.
opening its first Indian store at the Elante Mall in Chandigarh.
Wow.
It's a powerful statement about the growing importance of these markets.
That speaks volumes about the changing retail landscape. It's no longer about conquering just the major metros.
Yeah.
It's about reaching these consumers in smaller cities who are eager to embrace new brands and experiences.
Absolutely. And it's not just retailers taking notice.
Hmm.
Institutional investors are also pouring money into these tier 2 and 3 cities.
Okay.
Over 30% of their retail assets are now in cities like Amritsar, Chandigarh, Ludhiana, Udaipur, Mohali, Mysuru, Mangaluru, Ahmedabad, Surat, Indore, Nagpur, and Bhubaneswar.
Wow.
It's clear they see the long-term potential of these markets.
So it's not just about building malls, it's about investing in the future of these cities and recognizing their growing importance.
Right.
But what does this mean for the consumers in these cities? What kind of impact is this retail boom having on their lives?
Well, for starters, it means a wider range of choices.
Yeah.
No longer are they limited to local brands or a few national chains.
Right.
They now have access to national and international brands right on their doorstep.
It's like bringing the world to their doorstep.
Yeah,
And I imagine that has a ripple effect on their aspirations and lifestyle choices as well.
you're exactly right. It exposes them to new trends, new products, and new experiences, which can be incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
Plus, this boom has a positive impact on the local economy.
Right.
These new retail developments create jobs both directly in the malls and indirectly in supporting industries.
So it's not just about shopping.
Right.
It's about boosting local employment and creating new opportunities. It's
Exactly.
a win-win for everyone involved.
It really is. But this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
This retail boom is just one part of a much larger transformation happening in India's urban landscape.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
Yeah.
This all sounds incredibly promising for these tier 2 and 3 cities.
Yeah.
It's like they're finally getting their moment in the spotlight.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away, are there any potential challenges or downsides to this rapid growth?
Sure.
Is there anything that could derail this retail boom?
That's a great question and one that deserves careful consideration.
Okay.
While the outlook is generally positive, there are a few factors that could pose challenges. One is infrastructure.
Ah, yes. Can these cities handle the increased traffic and demand for services that comes with this kind of growth?
That's the key question if infrastructure doesn't keep pace with retail development.
Okay.
It could lead to congestion strain on resources and ultimately a less than ideal shopping experience.
So it's not just about building malls, it's about ensuring these cities have the necessary infrastructure to support them.
Exactly, and that includes things like transportation, parking utilities, and even waste management.
It sounds like a delicate balancing act, ensuring that growth happens in a sustainable and manageable way.
You're right, it's not just about growth for growth's sake. It's about creating a win-win situation for both developers and the communities they're investing in.
Okay.
And that requires careful planning and collaboration. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
All right.
We'll dive deeper into these challenges and opportunities in the next part of our deep dive.
This has been an incredibly enlightening start, shedding light on a retail revolution that's transforming India's urban landscape. It's clear that these Tier 2 and 3 cities are no longer just catching up. They're becoming destinations in their own right, attracting investment innovation, and a new generation of consumers eager to experience the best that retail has to offer. But that's all for fun. Part 1 of our deep dive. Join us next time as we explore the specific strategies that retailers and developers are using to win over consumers in these dynamic markets. Until then, happy shopping.
Welcome back to our deep dive into India's retail revolution.
Last time we explored the sheer scale of this boom and the factors driving it.
Yeah, those impressive numbers, 25 million square feet of new retail space,
Right.
massive malls popping up,
Yeah.
and the biggest names in development and investment jumping in.
Right. But now let's zoom in on those retailers.
Okay.
What strategies are they using to capture the hearts and wallets of consumers in these Tier 2 and 3 cities?
Well, one thing that really stands out
Okay.
is the importance of understanding the local nuances.
Right.
These cities aren't just mini metros. They have their own distinct cultural preferences,
Okay.
shopping habits, and even brand perceptions.
So one-size-fits-all approach just won't cut it.
Not a chance. The retailers who are truly succeeding
Okay.
are those who take the time to understand the local market.
Yeah.
They do their research and adapt their strategies accordingly.
Can you give us some specific examples of how they're doing that?
Sure.
I'm really curious to see what's working.
Absolutely. Take product assortment, for instance.
Okay.
Retailers are realizing they can't just stock the same merchandise.
Right.
they offer in their metro stores.
Okay.
They need to consider local tastes and preferences.
So what does that look like in practice?
Imagine a fashion retailer
Yeah.
entering a Tier 2 city known for its traditional clothing styles.
Okay.
It wouldn't make sense to stock only Western wear.
Right.
Instead, they might introduce a line of fusion wear
Hmm.
that blends contemporary trends with traditional elements.
That's such a smart move.
Yeah.
It shows respect for local culture while still offering something fresh and exciting.
Right.
It's like finding that sweet spot.
Exactly. And it's not just about the products themselves.
No.
It's about crafting an entire shopping experience
Right.
that truly resonates with the local community.
Give us the inside scoop.
Okay.
How are they creating that connection?
Think localized store design,
Okay.
multilingual staff,
Mm.
and even community events that tie into local festivals and celebrations. Okay.
It's all about making shoppers feel welcome, understood,
Yeah.
and like they belong.
These are fantastic examples.
Yeah.
It really highlights the need to go beyond simply selling products.
Right.
It's about creating a genuine connection with the community.
Right.
But let's be honest, price is always a factor.
Sure.
How are retailers approaching pricing in these markets?
You're absolutely right. Price sensitivity
Yeah.
is a key factor in these cities.
Okay.
Consumers may be earning less than their metro counterparts.
Right.
So value for money becomes even more important.
That makes a lot of sense.
Retailers are responding with various pricing strategies.
Okay.
They're offering more affordable product lines,
Okay.
running promotional offers, and even exploring innovative financing options to make purchases more accessible.
So it's about striking that balance, offering high-quality products and services,
Right.
while still recognizing the budget constraints of the local market.
Exactly. And we can't forget about technology's role in reaching these consumers.
We've talked about the rise of e-commerce, but it goes much deeper than that.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell us more about how technology is shaking things up.
Retailers are using technology to bridge the gap between the online and offline worlds.
Yeah.
They're creating omni-channel experiences
Yeah.
that allow shoppers to browse online reserve items and then pick them up in store.
So it's about giving consumers more flexibility and control over how they shop.
Absolutely. And it's about personalization
Okay.
through data.
Uh-huh.
Retailers are collecting data on everything,
Yeah.
from consumer preferences and purchase history to browsing behavior.
Mm-hmm.
They then use this data to tailor recommendations and offers specific to each shopper.
It sounds like data is becoming this secret weapon in retail,
It is.
helping brands understand their customers better than ever before.
It absolutely is. But it's not just about collecting data.
Yeah.
It's about using that data to create these personalized experiences
Right.
that make shoppers feel valued and understood, not like just another number.
All of this points to a retail landscape that's incredibly dynamic and responsive to the needs of consumers in these tier 2 and 3 cities.
Yeah.
It's like they're rewriting the rules of retail.
They really are. And this is driving a wave of innovation, forcing retailers to think outside the box and come up with creative new ways to engage shoppers.
Right.
Which brings me to some of the trends that have really caught my eye.
Oh, I love a good trend. What are we seeing out there?
One that's really interesting is the rise of hyperlocal delivery services.
Ooh, I've heard of those.
Yeah.
But I thought they were mainly a big city thing.
They're actually taking off in tier 2 and 3 cities as well.
Really?
Imagine ordering groceries, electronics, or even restaurant meals online
Yeah.
and having them delivered to your doorstep within hours.
Wow.
Sometimes even minutes.
That's incredible. It's like having the entire city at your fingertips no matter where you are.
Exactly. And these hyperlocal delivery services are a total game changer for consumers in these cities.
Right.
They provide access to a wider range of goods and services without ever having to leave home.
It's like having the convenience of city living, but without the crowds and chaos.
Precisely. And these services are also creating amazing new opportunities for local businesses.
Okay.
It allows them to expand their reach and connect with customers they may never have been able to before.
So it's a win-win for both consumers and businesses.
Yes.
That's what I like to hear.
Absolutely. It's just one example of how technology is blurring the lines between online and offline retail,
Right.
creating a seamless and integrated shopping experience that's tailored to the specific needs of each community.
It's truly fascinating to see how retail is evolving to meet the changing needs and expectations of consumers in these cities.
It really is. And it's not just about technology.
Yeah.
It's about understanding those cultural nuances,
Yeah.
the local preferences,
Yeah.
and the aspirations of these communities.
It's about creating a retail experience that isn't just transactional, but truly resonates with the people it serves.
Precisely. And that's what's so exciting about this retail revolution in India. It's not just about building malls and selling products. It's about connecting with communities, creating opportunities, and ultimately enhancing the lives of the people who live in these cities.
That's a beautiful sentiment, and it brings us to a crucial aspect we haven't discussed yet.
Okay.
The role of government. How are local authorities supporting or hindering this retail boom?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
The government's role in shaping the retail landscape is absolutely crucial.
Okay.
They can encourage growth through supportive policies, streamlined regulations, and investments in infrastructure.
So things like tax incentives for retailers, easier permitting processes for new developments, and improvements to roads, public transportation, and utilities.
Exactly. These measures make it easier for businesses to set up shop, attract investment, and create jobs.
Okay.
On the other hand, bureaucratic hurdles,
Right.
outdated regulations, and lack of infrastructure can really hinder growth and discourage businesses from entering these markets.
It sounds like a delicate balancing act.
It is.
The government needs to find ways to foster a favorable environment for business,
Right?
while also ensuring that development happens in a sustainable and responsible way.
You're absolutely right. And it's not just about the central government.
Okay.
Local municipalities play a crucial role as well.
Right.
They need to understand the specific needs of their communities and work with businesses to create a retail landscape that benefits everyone.
This highlights another critical point: collaboration.
Yes.
It's not just about the government dictating terms.
Right.
It's about fostering a true partnership between the public and private sectors.
Exactly. When the government, businesses, and communities work together, they can create a retail ecosystem that's not only profitable, but also sustainable, equitable, and truly beneficial for everyone involved.
That's a powerful message. It's a reminder that retail isn't just about transactions. It's about people, communities, and the places where we live, work, and shop.
Beautifully said. And that wraps up part 2 of our deep dive.
Don't go anywhere. Join us next time for part 3, where we'll explore the long-term implications of this retail boom and ponder the future of India's urban landscape. We'll see you then. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into India's retail revolution. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
From the sheer scale of this boom to those clever strategies retailers are using to connect with consumers in these Tier 2 and 3 cities.
Right.
We talked about everything.
Yeah.
Localized product assortments, hyperlocal delivery services, the government's role, and the power of data in shaping the retail landscape.
It's been a busy couple of episodes.
It has, but now it's time to look ahead.
Okay.
What are the long-term implications of this retail revolution? How will it reshape India's urban landscape in the years to come?
It's time to put on our futurist hats.
Okay.
And gaze into the crystal ball.
I'm ready. What possibilities do you see unfolding?
Well, one thing is certain: this trend isn't going anywhere. It's a fundamental shift driven by some incredibly powerful forces: rising incomes, urbanization, and a growing middle class with aspirations for a better lifestyle.
So this retail boom is likely to continue, maybe even accelerate in the coming years.
Absolutely. And as it does, it will have a profound impact on how people live, work, and interact with their cities.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah.
Can you break that down for us? What specific changes do you envision?
For starters, we can expect to see the lines between Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities continue to blur.
Okay.
As these smaller urban centers attract more investment jobs and amenities, they'll become even more appealing places to live and work.
So it's not just about shopping anymore. It's about a much broader shift in demographics and economic activity.
Exactly. We might even see a reversal of the traditional migration patterns, with people choosing to move from those crowded metros to these smaller cities in search of a better quality of life.
That's a fascinating thought. It really challenges that long-held assumption that bigger is always better when it comes to cities.
It certainly does, and this shift in demographics will have a ripple effect on everything from real estate and infrastructure to education and healthcare.
Let's dive into those ripple effects.
Yeah.
What are some potential challenges and opportunities these cities need to be prepared for?
On the challenge side, infrastructure is a big one.
Right.
As these cities grow, they'll need to invest heavily in transportation utilities and housing to keep pace with the influx of new residents and businesses.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Rapid growth can put a real strain on existing infrastructure if it's not managed properly.
Exactly. And it's not just physical infrastructure.
Okay.
Cities will also need to strengthen their governance and administrative systems to ensure that services are delivered efficiently and effectively.
So it's about building capacity both physically and institutionally to handle the demands of a growing population.
Precisely. But amidst these challenges, there are also incredible opportunities.
What?
This retail boom can be a powerful engine for economic growth and job creation.
Absolutely. More retail means more jobs, not just in the stores themselves, but in logistics, supply chain management, and all those other supporting industries.
Exactly. And it can create opportunities for local entrepreneurs to start new businesses and tap into this expanding consumer market.
So it's about fostering a vibrant and inclusive economy that benefits everyone.
You got it. But to truly capitalize on these opportunities, cities need to create an environment that's attractive to businesses.
What can cities do to make themselves more appealing to retailers and investors?
Well, we've already touched on the importance of infrastructure. Beyond that, it's about streamlining regulations, reducing bureaucracy, and creating a more predictable and transparent business environment.
So making it easier for businesses to set up shop, obtain permits, and operate without unnecessary roadblocks.
Exactly. And investing in education and skills development is critical.
Right.
Ensuring the local workforce has the skills businesses need is essential.
So it's not just about attracting businesses. It's about cultivating a talented workforce that can support their growth.
Precisely. And it's about creating a city that's not just a place to work, but a place to live, play, and thrive.
Let's talk about quality of life.
Yeah.
What makes a city truly vibrant and livable?
Think green spaces, cultural amenities, walkable neighborhoods, and a strong sense of community. These are the elements that make people want to put down roots and call a city home.
It's about creating a city that's not just functional, but also inspiring and fulfilling.
Exactly. And recognizing that a city's greatest asset is its people.
That's a powerful message. So as we look ahead, what are some key questions city planners, policymakers, and business leaders should be asking themselves?
One of the most important is how can we ensure that this retail boom benefits everyone in the community?
Okay.
How do we create a more equitable and inclusive economy that lifts all boats?
That's a crucial question. It's about making sure the benefits of growth are shared widely, not just concentrated among a select few.
Exactly, and it's about thinking long term.
Yeah.
How do we ensure we're not just building malls, but building communities that are resilient, vibrant, and thriving for generations to come?
These are some pretty profound questions. They require careful thought and a willingness to collaborate across sectors and communities.
You're absolutely right. It's a reminder that the future of India's cities isn't set in stone. It's something we're all shaping together through our choices, actions, and investments.
This has been an incredibly thought-provoking conversation. We've shed light on a retail revolution that goes far beyond just shopping. It's reshaping the very fabric of India's urban landscape.
It's a story of transformation, opportunity, and the power of human aspiration, and it's a story that's still being written.
And as always, we encourage our listeners to continue the conversation. What are your thoughts on the future of retail and the evolution of India's cities? Share your insights with us on our social media channels. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.